Okay, guys, so we're live again. Thank you for joining us. We're getting early start in the day today, and so today I have with me a very special guest who we were originally supposed to do an interview a little bit earlier, but something came up. But I'm glad to have her with me today. So, Miss Kenya Wright, can you please introduce yourself and yeah.
Well, hey everybody. My name's Kenya Wright. I'm a romance author. I've published around 65 novels. Hey Shirley. I've published about 65 novels. I've been writing and publishing for about 11 years. Almost all of my heroines are African American women, although I've had a few heroines that are of different races. But there's just been a strong goal and a mission for me to write about Black women falling in love with all different types of amazing men from different ethnicities, different countries, different backgrounds. And I like writing about love.
Great, excellent. And that was definitely one thing that caught my eye when I first visited your page. Is that you have written, obviously, yeah, like I said, you have written quite a few books, but a lot of them, if not all of them, deal with interracial dating and interracial romance and stuff. And like for me personally, you know what I mean. That's something that I feel like the media, and I'm actually gonna include like publishing and books as well, is that like the media doesn't really, they're sort of catching up to
Yeah.
the fact, like, because everybody does it nowadays, you know what I mean, in real life,
Hmm.
everyone dates outside the race and all that stuff, and so it's not really unusual to see that. But I feel like you're one of the few people I know that is definitely sort of loves to cover this topic, or at least is sort of
Hmm.
like more mainstream about it.
Okay.
'Cause, you know what I mean, and I think it's definitely cool. That's very progressive, and I think it's really awesome. I think
And
it's a
it's
lot of fun.
definitely a huge movement now. There's so many interracial romance authors out there and so many more coming. And we're starting to make good, I'm making good money that are, in this industry. And because there's so many readers out there, a lot of my readers tend to be Black women in interracial relationships, in interracial marriages, or it tends to be children of interracial relationships.
Hmm.
And so, that's like my strong amount of the audience. And then there's women who are considering and never even considered the idea of, oh, wait, instead of, stumbling around dating just one race and limiting myself to this situation, why not try all different types of men?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I guess, yeah. Before we go on, I don't want to pry too much into your actual, like life, personal life. But so, would I be correct in assuming that you are in an interracial relationship or marriage right now?
I am single right now.
Oh, okay,
I am single
okay.
right now. I have been in interracial relationships. Not a huge amount, not as much as I would like. Hey, selfish love. Not as much as I would like because I've been so focused with writing. But yeah, I've dated outside of my race many times. In fact, in my 20s, though, I had this real strong, like, I was super, super against interracial dating. Like, I thought,
Hmm.
oh, no, no one should ever do that, and blah, blah, blah. And as I went on and just learned and traveled and met different people, I thought to myself, why would I even say that? Like, we're all human, we're all beautiful, all different types of love is amazing. And that's when I started getting on this mission. Now, yes, I'm single. I am ready to mingle with all sorts of men. Let's go.
So that's interesting.
Hey,
So in your 20,
Susan.
yeah. So that's interesting. So in your 20s, you were like initially against it. Like, was there a reason
Yeah.
why like you had that viewpoint back then?
100%. And I would say very, very early 20s. Like, we're talking more like 19, 20, 21, maybe 22. And it was
Okay.
because I'd grown up in New York, and then we moved to Arizona, and then we moved to South Carolina. And I did high
Hmm.
school in South Carolina. So now we're talking about a segregated environment,
Hmm.
where in Orangeburg, the KKK would go down the street, right? So a lot of my interactions as a Black girl in this town was very negative when it came to other races. Asian people were very suspicious of Black people. Black people were suspicious of the Asian people in this town.
Hmm.
So it was just all segregated. There was a white fair, there was a black fair. It's just very, and this we're talking about the '90s, right? And it took me joining the military and being bunked with women of all different races to and because in the military you can't play that game of segregation and close off as much. And it took me being around different races to realize, oh my God, like that small town, that South Carolina is a racist area, and I had to get myself out of those environments to really see the world.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, that's very interesting.
Hey,
I guess.
Simon.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I had some more comments, but we had to get to these questions. So okay, so my well, I guess kind of my first question we kind of went over. My second question is, so before I go into that, I want to preface it by saying, so obviously, this is the AMVW channel, and you know what I mean. So again, welcome to the channel. The first time being on the channel, we love having you on here. But I feel like a lot of my viewers and whatnot, like they like to talk about, or at least have an interest mainly in Korean culture, and so AKA
Hmm.
Korean. And so what that usually means is that a lot of them want to get, find a Korean boyfriend, right? Like a lot of them are
Hmm.
very drawn to that for whatever reason.
Now, do you
Um,
think it's because of like K dramas and K pop getting this
yes,
huge
yes.
influence? Yeah, okay.
Yes, absolutely. And like I was saying,
Mhm.
it's going back to the media. You know what I mean? Everything is tied to, how people, like receive information and
Yep.
images and all that stuff. So it actually is influential that way. But I have a question for you. So I know that you've written a couple of books. One of them was about correct me if I'm wrong, like a Yakuza member from Japan. One of them was
Yes, yes,
centered.
from Japan.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
so so that's wonderful, and we'll definitely go to that in a bit. But I also want to ask, like, for our readers, especially and watching at home too, like,
Mhm.
would you ever consider doing something that is more based, I guess, in like South Korea, like in Seoul, or something like that, or maybe something even to do with, you know what I mean, like Korean mem, or like K-pop or K-drama sort of centered? Is that something that you've ever sort of considered doing or would consider doing?
Well, see, this is the thing. So my daughter is an insane K-pop fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me a crazy K-pop fan, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
have I love EXO, I love like Kai, I'm like crazy about a lot of stuff like that. So I'd want to do a K-pop sort of book, but then I'm not sure. And also, what makes me worried, even though I have done this, is that like I do think that we need different Asian heroes now.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. Like I
Yeah.
think you'll see in a genre, it's going to be the mafia, the gangster, the assassin, or the singer, the K-popper. So it's like I'm trying to figure out different ways. But yeah, one day I would want to do some sort of K-pop song. It would be
Mm.
interesting.
Absolutely, and I'm sure a lot of people will be very happy to hear that. Let's see here. So my next question for you is, okay. So obviously, like I said, I went over a lot of your works, and you're a very talented writer, by the way. Again, so again, we're very very lucky to have someone like you here. One thing that I want to ask you about, and I guess some places might, to some people might be considered taboo or whatever, but at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
it is more mainstream. So a lot of what you write deals with more mature themes, right?
Okay.
A lot of it deals with, like
Yes.
erotica and sex and stuff like that. Exactly, and
Killing
obviously.
people.
Exactly, and obviously here, this channel, we have a segment where we do talk about that kind of stuff. But I want to talk about that with you because that's a main area of interest for you. So let me hang on here. I kind of went off topic. So okay, so in your opinion, or no, never mind. Sorry, I'm sorry. Hang on. What is one misconception of erotica that you want to dispel?
I guess the one thing that people assume erotica is just like you open a page and it's just sex, 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 cock and this and that, nipples all over the place. And people don't think erotica has story, has emotion, can grip the heart, can educate. Like you can learn about climate change and read an erotica at the same time. You can learn about lots of different things, and it's full of emotion and it's full of layers, and it's not just a bunch of sex. Like
Mhm.
if the top people out there that's writing in this field are writing deep, deep, deep emotional stuff that's gripping. And so I definitely think people who are shy away from erotica should definitely check out my books and check out all the amazing women that write in this genre. Just give us a chance. We're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. And I feel like a lot of people, even, you know what I mean? So, okay, first of all, I want to put it out there. I am in no way condemning erotica at all. Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like, at all. Like, I think that kind of stuff is awesome, all that stuff. But yeah, so, but I wanted to at the same time, sort of address it because it can be a very hot topic for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
which is not okay. So, okay,
I
so
mean,
speaking,
we're all here because of sex,
exactly,
So
exactly,
it's
yes.
a part of life, and it's people big up the mainstream stuff, right? Yay, Susan, thank you. People may big up the mainstream, but and if it was like male erotica, I think it would be appreciated more. But I think because it's this journey of women and women having sex and women enjoying it, it's kind of laughed at. When 50 Shades was big, people kind of laughed at that idea when they should have been taking note of it. What do
Hmm.
women want? Maybe women don't want the traditional this and that. Maybe we want a little bit more excitement and a little bit more fun. And I think that's what people get when they read, especially women, they get to escape, have sexual escapes and sexual adventures. And I've had a lot of husbands in these 11 years of being published. I've had husbands buy my paperbacks or give me extra money to get some signed paperback or whatever. Like husbands have told me, I love when your book comes out and I love when my wife reads them because they're
Hmm.
probably sex is probably really really good that week.
Absolutely, 100%. And I was just curious, like, so, for me personally, I'm very aware of the 50 Shades franchise. I didn't go out and see the movies because I
Mm-hmm.
just have no. I'm sorry, I'm not like condemning erotica at all. It's just
Mm-hmm.
those particular stories I don't give a crap about.
Yeah, those aren't
Um,
the best representations. And
well,
they're
that's the
not
thing.
even that sexy. If you look the movie, I've had a lot of friends look at them and be like, oh, there really wasn't that much sex in it. And I was like, yeah, it's not
Exactly.
really that, erotic.
Right, right. Well, I've actually heard like mixed things about the films themselves. I'm not sure about the
Mm-hmm.
books, and so I just and also I just had other things to do, so I just opted not to see them. But I feel like what you're doing in terms of erotica and representation, it really does matter,
Yeah,
because you know what I mean. Like you to see women of color, not just women of color, but like men of color too. You know what I
yeah,
mean? In these kinds of roles or like characters or whatever. You know what I mean? It's very people talk about representation all the time in film and TV, but they don't really sort of address the absence of that in novels and literature too.
yeah,
And I think what you're doing, combining that with erotica and mainstream and stuff like that, like it's very important. So I just want to say that that's a great thing what you're doing there.
well, thank
Um,
you. I mean, it's difficult to put stories out with characters that with ethnic characters. I think other authors in this genre and me, we could make so much more money if we wrote a white heroine and a white hero all the time. We
mm,
would make an exorbitant amount of money. I think the people who write interracial romance, they really care about getting that representation out. So they're willing to take that pay cut, to just to get more black women out there, get more Asian men out there, get more races out there, and more
right.
point of views.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And also I just want to say again, there's so much love in here. I mean, look at this. It's only 9:15 a.m. where I'm at.
Yay!
It's early in the morning and we've gotten like we're 10 people watching. We got which is pretty good.
Yay!
We got this and we
Thanks,
got
guys.
we got here. So there's a lot of love for you. Like I said, it's early where I'm at. So this is impressive. This is really good. This is good
Yeah,
numbers.
because you're what, in California?
It's 9:16 a.m. right now. Nine
Wow,
sixteen.
wow.
So we're still early. The day is still young. But that's great though. That's great though. So if you are watching, please like the stream and tell your friends. And if you have time right now, check it out. If you're watching on the replay, like the stream.
And
Um,
he's interviewed some sexy actors, so if you're into that sort of thing, check it out. Check it out.
so we have my next question is actually from a fan. I was asking on Facebook if everyone had a question for you. So this
Mhm.
comes. Oh wait, hang on. Let me. Okay, sorry, I copied the wrong thing. Hang on, let me copy this. I actually have her name as well. Um, I don't know if she's watching right now, but yeah. So here she is. So here's her question. Um,
All right. So, what inspires her to write without fearing that it will be a repeat of the last story? Okay. It's almost, I think, impossible to write the same story over and over because as I write a book, I'm grabbing on to what's going on in my life.
mhm,
And I'm grabbing on to the things I hear. Like writers are very, very odd people. We will I'll go to a DMV and I will write notes. Like I was just in a DMV 3 days ago and I heard this crazy conversation and I wrote a note down. And then the next day I took my kids to see the Green Knight and I wrote some notes there. And then I went and I think I've been looking at Animal Kingdom catching up and I wrote a note there. So it's like as I'm experiencing life, I'm writing notes and those notes are kind of it's things that inspired me in this moment to put in this present work of art. So like every book's never the same because every day is never the same for me. And then I try to go out there. So now me and my kids are moving to Thailand in a year. And
hmm,
there's no way the books that I write when I'm in Thailand are going to be anywhere near the ones I wrote in Georgia. So that's how I keep the books fresh.
okay, excellent. Excellent. So the next question I have for you is, how do you detach yourself from a lot of these, like darker, you know what I mean, like more controversial subjects and topics in your books?
Oh, I don't know. I feel the books. I could cry. Sometimes I'm crying in a book because I'm killing somebody, or sometimes I'm actually scared when I'm writing a scene. Like I know the scene is going to be good because I feel the emotion. If I feel arousal, then I know the sex scene is good. If I don't feel any arousal while I'm writing that sex scene, I'm like, he put it here and he licked here and he did here and he pushed here. Then I get rid of the sex scene because I'm not aroused. So I think I'm too attached at times to the story, but I do
Mhm.
think that's what's helpful for me.
Excellent. Yeah. I was just wondering because, like I went to school for film and TV production. So we were
Mhm.
taught how, to write a script and all that stuff. And so a lot of people in that regard, like when it comes to writing screenplays and stuff, usually, especially when you're at that young age, you don't really have a whole lot of life experience yet.
Yeah.
So at that age, like people tend to write what they know. And so a lot of, I mean, it was just came more naturally, for people when they write what they know. But
Hmm.
sometimes, like I said, like you just said, it's like there are more mature themes, so it can be a little bit harder to get into that mindset. So let's see. So the next question I have is okay. So next question I have is I, I don't I apologize if you sort of mentioned it very briefly. I don't believe you have already,
Hmm.
which goes to show how shitty my memory is because we've only been talking for like 20 minutes. So that's pretty bad. I have a really bad memory though. So there you go. Okay, so but have you when it comes to interracial romances and stuff, have you ever dated or been with an Asian man before?
Yes, I dated this Chinese Peruvian guy. I met. It's a so weird story. I met him in a he was a I was in a sushi restaurant and he was making sushi and he asked me out. And he also happened to be, I forgot how I met him then. I think we went to school together too. He was also like my my plug too. It was a very weird situation. But he was also one of the most amazing experiences I've had. We had a lot of fun for a very long time. We were kind of besties. We had like a threesome. Just yelling
Whoa.
at
Okay.
each
Hang on. Wait. Hang on.
It was a
Hang on.
whole lot of stuff, but yeah. So yeah, that was my funny experience.
Hang on. I need to interject something really quickly. There you go.
It
So.
was a blast. Now since then, I haven't really. I've been interested, and I haven't really been okay. So for the past 4 years, I like have not dated or anything. I said I was just going to focus on writing, blah blah blah. And then this year, I'm now back into the dating world. I feel like I'm completely like balanced,
Mhm.
financially balanced to go out and date. So, but when in my time of celibacy, I've been getting hit on by a lot of South Asian men, like just all the time. They must like big butts because my butt is huge. So, but
Mm.
no matter when I go to England, go to Montreal, Vancouver, wherever I go, if an Indian man sees me, he is up in my face trying to. So I'm going to start exploring that. Is what I'm saying. So I'm looking at doing a lot more exploring. I'm just saying all my business today.
No, it's okay. It's actually funny because I don't know for everyone watching here if y'all caught the stream last night that I did with Lana, but you were there, Kenya. You were also there, and so yeah, I mean, like you do know that we do talk about this kind of stuff elsewhere too. You know what I mean? That's something that I do enjoy talking about. I think everyone likes talking about it. So yeah, don't feel bad at all. Whatever you want to put out there, we're live right now, but whatever you want to put out there is all good. It's literally
Mhm.
all good. I just literally have that one rule, but outside of that rule, yeah. See, everyone wants you to talk about it. Everyone wants you to talk about it. So
Woo!
you know, uh, so
Charlotte.
okay. So I had other questions, but they're kind of boring in comparison to what you just talked about. So let's go back to the threesome. Okay, so so I wanna know more about that. So let's kind of like for everyone watching right now, if you're just tuning in right now, this is Miss Kenya Wright.
Talk
She
about
has
authors threesomes.
she has written a lot, but right now we're actually getting, kind of like live story right now. You know what I mean? From a live story from the book of Kenya Wright.
It's
So,
it's funny. Early 20s. This dude was like my best friend. Like we partied, we talked, we went to the beach, we would hang out. He was. We would go to the strip club because his friend, this female friend, worked at a strip club,
mm,
and that's basically how that transpired after that. And we were cool. He was a homie. Looks like he popped out. So I'm here.
oh no 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 no, I
Oh no,
didn't.
no,
I
you
just
did? Okay.
yeah. I just had to. I
But
had
yeah,
to.
but that's basically it. It was like I think it worked for us because we didn't have this super romantic relationship. We were more just really good friends who hooked up. And
Mm-hmm,
so there was never like he was the same, he had that same sort of relationship with the girl. So
hmm.
I don't know. So it all worked out to me. It was a cool situation. One of those like bucket list items.
Okay, hang on. I need to say something. So, first of all, I don't know about y'all watching at home, but for me, that's kind of a boring answer. Where's like the good stuff, Kenya? Let's talk. It's early in the morning. Okay, it's only 9 a.m. But like, I wanna, it's the start of the day, so I want to start my day off good.
Well,
So,
that's as much as you are getting. Y'all gonna have to
okay,
read the KW
okay,
books.
okay. All right, all right, all right.
All
Fair
right.
enough. Fair enough. So let's see here. Okay, so but in your opinion, I guess like how do you feel about the term like sex sells, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I mean, like what does that mean to you, and what is your take on that?
Well, sex sells because it's an emotional thing. It's like basically you're thinking, how about this? In this situation, we're talking about that when you read something that's arousing to you, it's having a physical reaction. And so people like art, works of art that give them some sort of physical reaction. That's the same with horror. Horror gives you like you jump, like it moves you somewhere, makes your heart pump, pump, pump. Same as suspense. So things that give some sort of physical reaction are the things that people gravitate to. And so that's what we have when we have the sex sell stuff. It's not just that people are horny or people are into arousal and stuff, but it's because, it's it affects the body and we want to be moved in some way. Life can be boring, the world can be boring, and that's why we have music and art and books. And the things that sell are the things that make us mentally just ooh. So that's why sex sells.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
honestly, in the UK, hello, hello.
So yeah, again, if you're just joining us right now, this is Kenya Wright. She's an accomplished author. Like the stream, like. So I want to so I want to go ahead and pull up the the link to your site really quickly. Hang on. Let's see here. So there we go. So do you see that there? So that is her site.
Yeah.
That is Miss Kenya's site. Let's see here. The address. Okay, sorry, internet's a little bit slow, but I'm gonna put the link. So there it is, right there. And while I'm going over this, Kenya, can you tell us sort of a little bit more about you and your background and what initially got you started and sort of why you continue to do this?
Yeah, so I began writing when it was like I was looking at when urban fantasy was big, and so you had True Blood and the Twilight series. What else was out? Hunger Games was big, a lot of YA, but it was during that time. We're talking like the 2010s. But I was really into urban fantasy. Oh man, I loved like a kick-ass heroine who like beat up vampires and killed werewolves and stuff like that. And my biggest problem was that there was no black heroines except one series by, oh my God, I'm gonna mess up her name, L.A. Banks. And so I
Mm-hmm.
read her series, and that to me was all there really was that I could find. And so I would complain and complain and complain. And my stepson, who was 12 at the time, was like, well, Ma, like, why don't you just write it yourself? And I was like, what? That's crazy. And he's like, why don't you just write the book yourself? And then I went back home and told my husband at the time, who's now my ex-husband, I was like, you know what your son said? He said I should write a book. And he was like, yeah, you should. And I started writing the next week. And I've never looked back ever since. I finished that book. It took about 2 years to write. It was called Fire Baptized. And from then on, I have been addicted to writing books, to writing stories. And I feel like I've lived so many different lives. I feel like I've fallen in love with so many different men, and
Oh wow.
I'm gonna be writing when I die. When they put me away, my hands are gonna be stuck on some sort of writing apparatus equipment. Is all I'm saying. Love to write.
Hmm. Excellent, excellent. And just looking through here, you've actually tackled like subgenres too, like crime and
Mm-hmm.
like horror, like supernatural.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I love a good serial killer. Serial killer books are a thing, so I will write like a murder mystery. I based one. It's one book called Mask of Red Death, and it's based off of Edgar Allan Poe's story. And the serial killer writes in a way. I mean, he kills in a way that is like Edgar Allan Poe's Mask of Red Death. And then
hmm,
I have another one, Missing Hearts, where it's set in the South, and it's all of that, like little black girls are getting killed. So like those are like my mysteries. My
hmm.
most popular novels are mafia romance, which Lion and the Mouse and the French mafia, they're all interconnected, and also the Japanese mafia. My current book that I'm writing now is actually called Naked Sushi, and
Wow.
and it did involve. It has a naked sushi scene in it. Where the chick is naked, like to tradition. I forgot how you say it. It's called Nayo Tomi. Is a practice and a tradition. Anyway, and so that book explores that, and the hero is Japanese, and
Okay.
he's kind of like a Sherlock Holmesian sort of guy. He's solving this big crime. He's really, really highly just intelligent and can spot clues here and there. But in the midst of this, he wants this chick to like be sort of his naked sushi model, his plate. He
Mm.
wants to eat off it. So I got to write that sex scene after this interview.
No, for sure, for sure. Um, and let's see here. So I just want to share
Kaz
a
is
couple.
big. Yes, thank you for saying that. That's one of my heroes, and everyone likes Kaz. Casimir.
Excellent, excellent. Well, if you're watching, we have 10 viewers. Again, this is really early for me, so this is really impressive. Thank you. Like the stream, guys. Like the stream. Um, okay, so I have a question. Oh wait, hang on. What is this?
Perfume pansies. That line alone has made my husband a fan. Oh, thank you very much. That's from my French Mafia book.
So yeah, so I have a question for you. So just skimming over your work right now. So a lot of it deals with white men and black women,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so like I said, interracial dating is extremely popular. It's so popular that it's not even people don't really talk about it. It's sort of just become more accepted. You know what I mean? Accepted and expected, I think, to some degree, right? Because it's that's the world we live in. Um, So when it comes to white men and black women, like obviously, like I just said, like I see like a great deal, I guess a great majority of your works deals with that,
Hmm.
right? And is there something for you personally that you kind of, like sort of get out of like writing those kinds of stories? I guess I'm just wondering like why white men and black women?
Okay, so it was the first one that I ever wrote was called An Arrangement of Love, and that's actually free for anybody who hasn't checked out An Arrangement of Love yet. But that was the first book. I wrote that back in the day, and it was the first book in a trilogy. And it
Hmm.
was kind of my response to 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
And so that was the first time for me where I had a white hero.
Mm.
And so from there, then I started writing the next one. What was some of the main next ones? But they would start to go to different countries. So, like my Russian series, it's Russian. The one in France, he's French, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But I actually wrote the Japanese novel after No Ordinary Love. After that, I
Hmm.
think at the time when I put out the hero where he was Japanese, and then I had a novel where the guy is Hispanic. Out of all the three novels for that year, the novel with the white hero was the one that made the most money.
Mm.
And as a full time author and single mother of three kids, that's the one where I started kept on writing. And then my passion books would be like books like Northern Love with the Japanese hero, Quarantine and Chill, South Asian hero. And it was just like for me, but those books ended up being major, and just even like Redemption that has Ushiro, who's Japanese too, those books ended up blowing up, but blowing up much later. I think maybe Issa Rae commenting and saying that black women should
Yeah.
marry Asian men had something to do with it. But I think
Yeah.
that I don't think the focus had been as much as when people interracial date to consider Asian men as much. I think the media has shown a skewed view, if that makes sense. And I think what
Hmm.
we're doing in indie world is presenting it more and saying that no, 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 this is a whole group of beautiful. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of gorgeous Asian men out there. I
Hmm.
even saw this funny video where it was like I forgot it's a YouTuber group, but they were like Asian men are good looking, and then it was like 5 minutes of these different cuts of these hot, sexy ass Asian men. It's like it's been a media stereotype of like that Asian men are this and Asian men are that, and that's how
Hmm.
black women have been treated too. Just really hardcore stereotypes that have made us all kind of undateable, you know.
And that's the thing too, because okay, so that's actually, I mean, it's kind of surprising I haven't brought it up yet, but yes, Issa Rae a few years ago, I don't remember when exactly, but she did make a comment that like yeah, black women and Asian men should date each other more often. And I forget exactly what the context behind that was. But I mean, why not? Like, I mean, she's
Yeah.
absolutely right. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, okay, here's the thing. Obviously this is the EMBW channel, so we're all here for that. You know what I mean? But like the thing is, yeah, like I'm glad that people like her as well as you are like bringing more attention to interracial romances like that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Why should happiness come in the form of just one type of person, right? Like one shade or one like race or quote unquote
Yeah.
color or whatever. You know what I mean? People are definitely limiting themselves if they believe that they just keep telling themselves, yeah, like I'm only going to end up with white guy or a black guy or Asian guy or like just whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah.
I know many, family, and I've had friends who are like, oh, why are you promoting the destruction of the black family? And it's like,
Mm,
guys, what we're not
mm,
going to do is say that I, who have created a black family, am tearing down the black family. I am not the reason for problems in black families or any other. And honestly, there's problems in every race, in every ethnicity, right? But it's like, I do get that sometimes. I do get sometimes brothers come to me and they'll message me and say, why are you promoting this? Why? And it's like, I have black heroes in my books too. I have romances for just, it's like, I believe my mission has always been all of black women that all races love black women, and that we got to stop the media like view that black women are unlovable and black women are always going to be single and unmarried and all this stuff. No, there's a lot of races that love us, and we need to stop only looking for black men. We need to look for all men, men that love us,
Yeah.
and care about us, regardless of the race, right? We just need to be loved.
Hmm.
So, that's been my focus. It's just, I am glad that AMBW is now finally getting love, because 5 years ago it didn't get as much love. It's
Hmm.
still relatively very new. Like, we're at the beginning of the boat slowly moving out into away from the harbor right now. So
Hmm.
I'm excited. I think this generation is exploring it way more than any other generation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and yeah. So again, thank you for your work on that. I think it's definitely doing a great deal to promote that idea and the positivity behind it and one. So I have another question. My question to you. This is a very interesting question that I had. So obviously, you are a woman. You're wow. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
that was a very awkward thing to say. I was like, no shit.
Yeah.
All
Yep,
right,
I'm
no, sorry,
definitely a
no.
woman.
But hang on, sorry. So yeah, I shouldn't have stopped. Okay, so my question actually was so being a woman and also well, you said it again. Okay, let me third time's a charm. Ready? So being a female writer, right? My
Mm-hmm.
question to you. Fuck. All right, I fucked that up third time. Okay, quiet. Sorry, we're live, so that makes it even better.
It's
Okay,
all
no.
good.
So my question is, what do you think the differences are between a man writer, not man, male writer, a guy basically writing erotica, as opposed to a woman writing erotica? There you go. There you go. There you go.
Well, a good writer is a good writer, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe in. I believe in art, and I believe that a good writer can write anything. I think a white person can write a black romance. I think a black person can write a white romance. I think a man can write a hot and sexy erotica novel easily with no problem. You just got to research and explore what it is to be human. I think that's the most important part, regardless of everything, and understand that what is it, what do women truly like? If I was a guy and I was writing about erotica, I would want to know what really pleasures women, what really turns women on. And
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely think men can write erotica for
Mm-hmm.
sure. And I think maybe more men should. I think we need to start, getting the publishing industry needs to have a little bit more fun. It can be a little corny at times and very traditionally and a little religion-y at times. And I think we should have more
Mm-hmm.
fun.
So what is your okay? So my I guess one of my last questions to you, because I kind of want to wrap it up because I don't want to keep you here too long. But like for people who are interested in publishing and writing, right, but have no idea how to get started, like, I mean, yeah. So I guess my question to you is like, how would someone like that get started?
Whoa, it's you first have to write the book, and that to me is the biggest challenge, writing the book. Everybody has stories. Everybody has three or four stories in their minds, that are good. Everyone
Hmm.
on this planet has a good story, but everyone's not going to actually write the story. A lot of people are going to start it and not finish it. So to
Hmm.
me, the biggest hurdle is just completing the damn story. And people want to write the story and make it, and they drag and their feet on it because they want the story to be perfect at the end. It's never, the first draft is never perfect. The first draft is always a trash draft. You just got to get it on a paper and then go back and rework it and rework it and rework it and rework it until it's where it needs to be.
Hmm.
Once you have the book, there are so many options out there to publish.
Right.
That's the publishing is the easiest part, right? It's the writing the book to me. To actually write the book to me is the difficult part.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like especially, well, okay, yeah. So how often do you get like writer's block though?
So I got writer's block. Okay. I had writer's block a few times last year, like Black Lives Matter, stuff like that.
Mm.
If I got it kind of depressed. This year it was the state capitol riot that knocked me out for like 3 or 4 days. Years ago when I had like a pretty rough divorce. I had writer's block for about 6 7 months. It was a
Oh
really long
wow.
time.
Yeah.
So like writer's block to me comes when I'm really, really, really stressed out.
Mm.
So the only way I can get through the writer's block is to write about, like, stop whatever I was writing and write about whatever is like hurting me. So it's
Right.
like these past couple of weeks, well, no, actually a couple of months, I was working on this book, and it was like Ocean's 11 meets Alice in Wonderland. It was going to be heist and all this stuff. But I
Wow.
got depressed about a situation that something really hurt me, like in a way with a family member. And so I decided to write a book where I basically like killed the person in the book. And from killing the person in the book, I was healed and I was able to go back to like writing my other stuff. So
Hmm.
I feel like when I get writer's block, if I make it a cathartic experience in the sense of writing it out, just whatever's going through me, writing in the story somehow and deal with it in the story, I'm personally healed, and then I can go back. There's no more writer's block. So you end writer's block by writing, basically.
Interesting. And so for writing for you is a very like cathartic experience at times, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
100%. Yeah. I think
Interesting.
that's the best way to do things, when you haven't, because whatever you're going through, because we're all human, whatever we're going through, someone else out there is going through the same thing and will learn from your experience and relate. So to me, it's always good to write about whatever is going on in your life and include it in the plot line for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Miss Kenya, I could talk to you for hours, but I know that you're a very busy person, so I'll let you go. But again, like I said, this is an interview that I've been looking forward to for a while now because you are a fan favorite. You know what I mean, and you have a lot of fans, which is something that I'm definitely working on building towards with this channel as well. So I will try to follow your example. But thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us. And like I said, you know what I mean. Like you, okay. So before I let you go, I want to say this interview is very expected because I didn't expect you to be this very casual. You seem like a
Mhm.
very
Oh, I'm
you're
an amazing person.
you're very, yeah. You seem like a very, very approachable, just down to earth person, which is great. Which is a part of what this channel is about. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just about just sort of loosening up and just having real conversations like this. So I
Hmm.
would like to. I'll let you go, but I would also like to invite you, back on the channel for future,
For
discussions.
sure.
Maybe even for like group panels and stuff like that, because we do those. Those are quite popular as well. Um.
Awesome. I would love to come back and come on here and chat.
So
I love
before.
what you're doing with this channel. I'm
Mhm.
excited about it. I feel like it's just gonna blow, blow, blow up. So just keep it going. Keep promoting AMBW, man.
Well, thank you very much, and you
Thank
as well.
you, MJB. Thank y'all, everybody, for coming in and tuning in. I want to thank all the people who told you about me. I was really blown away by that. So I really have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for everyone.
Wait, hang on. On that note, I do have to ask you. I remember the first time talking to you, I called you up because I found your number on the phone. And correct me if I'm mistaken, but you didn't even realize that you were on Facebook, or you weren't
I didn't
aware of your
realize
Facebook
my
page.
number was on there, so
Oh,
I had
okay.
to change that.
Hang on. Wait. So, we're gonna pull this up right now because this you need we need to see this stuff. So, hang on. Let's pull up Kenya's page really quickly right here. I'm about to do that. Her Facebook page. Okay. So here is where I found Kenya. That's her Facebook page, everyone. If you're interested, right there. So she's on Facebook too. Hmm. But here is Oh, no. Hang on. Okay.
That's
So
crazy. The number is right. That's insane. I'm changing my number on here. Why would they do that though?
I I don't know.
That's so
But
crazy.
I just want to let you know. Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I kind of effed up. I literally put your advertisement your number on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
correct. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
I didn't realize. I didn't even realize that.
I don't answer
Okay.
my phone anyway, so But I can't believe they do that. I guess I'm gonna need a business number.
Hmm. Well, okay, great. So that's great. But yeah, again, and so Kenya, like, where can people find you? Where can people purchase your work and just follow you? In your work. Like, where can people find you?
Yeah, definitely 100% on Amazon. If you go to your bookstore, like a Books a Million or something like that, you can request my book, and the book will come there in paperback. And then, of course, my website. I'm also, if you're on Facebook, go to my website, K Killers, the readers group. We are popping on in there every day, having a blast, talking a lot of crap, and I'm enjoying ourselves. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, Kenya Wright Books.
Hmm.
And thanks so much, guys.
Excellent, excellent. Well, hang on. This person is saying
Thanks,
you
T.
need a Google
Davis.
Voice
That's what
number.
I am going to do. Google Voice number. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, that concludes the interview today. You heard her. You know what I mean? If you want, you can go to those links and purchase her work. I hope you do. And yeah, thank you, Kenya. Hope to see you again. And guys, we'll check you later on the next stream. So, bye bye.